We've got quite a few trades to cover on the channel, but in this video, we're going to start with Tyler Myers being sent to the Dallas Stars from the Vancouver Canucks. So let's just get right into it. You have the Dallas Stars acquiring 36-year-old right-shot defenseman Tyler Myers with a 50% retention on his contract. And the Canucks acquire a 2027 second-round pick and a 2029 fourth-round pick. Now, usually I start with the buyer side of the deal, but I actually want to start with the Canucks end of the deal first. So they tried to trade Tyler Myers to the Detroit Red Wings, but Myers ended up blocking that deal. And then you thought, okay, well, I guess, Myers is going to control his destiny, and that'll lower the return that the Canucks could potentially get. Myers decided to waive to go to Dallas, which is his hometown team. He grew up in Texas. He's actually making history, the first Texas-born player to suit up for the Dallas Stars. So you're giving Myers a chance to try and win a cup with a contender, his hometown team, and you actually get a really solid return in my opinion. 2027 second-round pick from Dallas, that's probably going to be a late second-round pick and a fourth-round pick. However, for the Canucks, there's literally no point in keeping Tyler Myers. They are going to a full rebuild. He's nearly 40 years old. So acquiring some draft capital for him is just the right thing to do from an asset management perspective. But the direction's been pretty clear the last couple of months for the Canucks here. Sell, 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 acquire those draft picks, and try and get some high-end talent in the draft. They're pretty much guaranteed to get a top 3 pick at this point. But the interesting thing, I think, is going to be who else do they sell? I think Evander Kane's a pretty clear one that's going to be gone. I think David Kampf, Teddy Blueger, you could toss into that category as well. But then there's players like Jake DeBrusk, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser. Connor Garland has a no-trade clause kicking in this offseason, so if they're going to deal him, they got to do it now. But yeah, the Canucks, they're tanking hard. They shut down Thatcher Demko for the season. Same thing with Jonathan Lekermacki. And this is a really pivotal deadline for them. They've been acquiring some solid draft capital, but they definitely could use some more top-end picks here. And they're sort of getting that with the second-round pick, but I think you want to see another first and another second or something at this deadline, or some good prospects. But given the circumstances, I think this is an A-plus move from them. And then when you talk about Dallas's end of the deal, they've had a carousel at the right shot D position over the last few seasons. You've had Chris Tanev, Ilya Lyubushkin, Cody Ceci. There's been a ton of guys. And you're getting Tyler Myers, who, sure, he's in his late 30s now, but he's still a big physical presence on the back end. Can play a solid shutdown game in a depth role. He's 58th in block passes amongst defensemen, 4.5 per game. 1.6 stick checks per game, ranks 10th. So he can do things that you want out of a bottom pair right shot D, be a penalty kill contributor for this team. You're not expecting any offense. He has 8 points this season in 57 games. And he is prone to turnovers, but from a player like Myers, you're not expecting him to do much with the puck. And he's not just a rental. You get him for next season too at only $1.5 million. I think that's a very solid value deal. And when you look at that defense, you've got Lindell, Heiskanen, Harley, Lundqvist, Bichelle, Myers, and then Lyubushkin and Petrovic as well. I think their defense is definitely the biggest issue with this team. Now, it doesn't just necessarily come from the back end. I think it's the overall team defense is something that could be improved. They've had a ton of injuries this season, but they're on a heater right now, 10-game win streak. So I think I would want to see them acquire some bottom 6 defensive help. But overall, I think it's a win-win trade. I'd give the Stars like a B on this deal. I like the acquisition of Myers. Second and fourth is kind of a high price to pay, but they're in their win-now window. And like I said, it's not just a rental. So overall, I like it for both teams. Hopefully, Tyler Myers could be the first Texas-born player to win a Stanley Cup for Dallas. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.